Peace and love. Sister Nzinga here from Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga. But they talk about it too, Sister y'all. We're gonna talk about it today. Thank you for all my subscribers. Thank you for those who listen and share. Thank you for those who are commenting, especially keep coming up with the comments. Comments are getting a little better, and I appreciate that. Um, so thank you everybody who participates and continue on this station. I am so happy to be able to come to you every week, and I'm glad that you are appreciating it. I say appreciate loving it, and sharing it with other people and taking the time to listen. So, boy, we've been on kind of on the road talking about some stuff here lately, and I just want to kind of go back and talk about, like when I talk about the money issue. I know that everybody makes their money, and Lord, you can do whatever you want to do with your money, but I want you to understand that when we participate in these things that society says is good or trending or all that kind of stuff, we really do have to understand that these things were created to get your money. They're not created in the fact of saying, oh, this will be good for you, or you can benefit from it, or you're going to get anything out of it, because we are not getting anything out of it except for the material thing that we're buying. And ultimately, our money is going to somebody else. So that's why I'm talking about the importance of us not spending our money. Like, I always talk about people buying iPhones. I mean, there's phones that work just as well as iPhones, but we don't have to have that iPhone. It's the status. It's the ego who says that we need to have an iPhone. We have to have these certain things with someone else's name on them that we think has some impact on who we are. That doesn't change our attitude. Doesn't change our mindset. It doesn't change our behavior. So the point is that we need to do things give this society as least amount of money as possible. Some people say I pay my bills in advance. Okay, don't pay your bills in advance unless especially if you have what you call an interest bearing account. That means that the money will stay in your account longer, and the interest each day, you're going to be making a little extra, 5 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents, a dollar on your money. But if you pay it in advance, that means you're giving your money and you're missing out on that on those things. And these things these things accumulate. So the point about me telling you about the money, I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, but I want you to be wise in it, because all these systems that have been put together, they're all in cahoots. The grocery store, the doctors, the appliance stores, your utility bills, the water bill. All this is government run, or either they in cahoots with somebody who is selling these things. And then, the people who have name brand things, those people don't give a damn. What's his name? Hilfiger. He said he didn't want black people wearing his clothes. So they don't even advertise to the black community, because they already put this stigma on this look they're supposed to have with those boots on and all these brand name stuff that we buy without them even marketing to us. They ain't got to spend a dime to make us good. We just buy it because it's trending and because they say so. This is what black people supposed to wear, and that these rappers and these people on TV who are just people just like you and I, when you see them with this thing on that we want it. But we have to really think about the money, because what we're doing, we're financing our own demise. So the more that we spend money on material things, I mean, and I ain't trying to knock nobody's thing. I'm just being real. $300 for a bundle of hair. $100 to get some false eyelashes. I don't know what it costs when they do that thing with the eyebrows. That's $50. I'm sure at least it's some kind of crazy amount of money. But for what? These things that we do are taking money out of our community. Because we say our schools are not as good, and our schools, at our, the community centers, anything in the cultural people's, in our culture's community, the services are not as good. But if we would take and put our monies with things that are useful to us as a people, as a community, we would be doing a lot better. So I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, but understand that when you spend your money and you buy material things, then you're putting money out of your community, and money's going out. Okay? And all the stuff, the way they figure the taxes and what you do with your money, how much money is spent around the area, something like that, all that adds up, and then they use that stuff evaluated to say, well, there ain't a lot of money being spent here, so I really don't know. I mean, I'm not going to speak of that much, because I'm not really sure how they calculate that stuff, but I know all that stuff is taken into consideration. The amount of money that is made for the people living in your community. So I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money, I repeat again, but I'm saying to be mindful You know, even if you need a pair of eyeglasses, okay, you get a pair of eyeglasses because you know you need them. You know, you may cost $200, $300, but to spend $700 or $800 on a pair of eyeglasses, people, you know, we have to be mindful. And this is, you know, it's about self-respect. I make my money, I can spend on whatever I want to spend on. You really can, but if you care. So don't come out your mouth talk about what's going on in the community and this ain't that. But here you sitting here, you all caught up and you spend your money out on elsewhere. You wasting your money, really. You know, my opinion, that you're wasting your money. So it's important that we spend money on our own. That, you know, if you want to go to a restaurant, try to find a black-owned restaurant. You want to go to a tailor, try to find a black-owned tailor. You know, because sometimes we complain about how the prices of the items in our stores or whatever services that we're giving costs more. And it's because we get less service or we get less customers. So we have to make sure that we are making our money back. We have to pay utilities, the phone bill, electric bill. We got to pay the, you know, insurance for the building. You have to buy the merchandise. All that stuff that comes into play. And if there's not a lot of consistent money coming in, then we can't put money out. And then we have to be able to generate that money to come in. Because, you know, I used to own a store. And thank God I was just blessed to have good opportunities where my store was located. But it's important that we are mindful about us spending our money. If you care. If you don't care, you probably ain't going to be listening to me anyway. But sometimes we care and we just on the fence. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but child, I'm paying $800 for these eyeglasses. I don't care what nobody say. Because actually this particular frame, this is since I'm talking about this particular frame was online, and it was when people start wearing those big eyeglasses and so forth. This pair of glasses, I know that someone else has another pair of glasses that are very, very, very similar to mine, but they paid about like $700 to $800 for this frame. I went to Specs for Less and got the frame for, I don't know what I paid for, but I know I ain't paying nowhere near that because I don't spend that kind of money on material things. So there's always a solution. You can look elsewhere to see if someone else has it for less or something like that, but just please try to spend your money as much as you can. And I'm not saying you don't want to get bad service, because sometimes we spend money with our own, and sometimes because of us being miseducated and don't know how to really handle business or things like that, that we, or just because we hate ourselves and that we don't realize it, that we don't get as good a service. So I'm not trying to say give your money to someone who's not going to give you good service, okay? It's important that you get your money's worth, but try to put your money's worth into somebody who looks like you. Because you better believe that other people, you know, I mean, you may have some friends, and I'm just don't know this black and white thing. You may have some white friends, you know, but do your white friends support you? Have you ever seen a Chinese man come into a black store to buy anything? Jews definitely don't buy from anything. They don't even buy from other you know, plain old white people. They buy from their own people. And it's important. We have to understand how economics works. That we have to support our own people in order for us to come up, you know. So if somebody who has a restaurant, you know, support them, and then maybe they can lower their prices. Or maybe they can start to offer more things. They say, well, they only sell fried chicken and fries. Okay, well, if we have more people coming in there, then maybe we could sell fish, because fish costs more than chicken. And then maybe they had that money coming and flowing, you know, and if they got a right mind on their head on their shoulders, that they could be able to do wise things as far as not adding more things to the inventory to be able to expand the business to do other things. So just understand that. So we just got to continue on and thinking, because it ain't illegal yet. I was telling you that think word means taking hold of and implementing new knowledge. As we continue to broaden our horizons and learn new things, whether it's from me, anybody, implement it. You know, stop continuing to do things. You know, and I've mentioned that before, you know, we know that hot dogs ain't good. We know the Coke soda ain't good, but we still continue to drink it. That's just the way it is. You know, and then I just really get bothered when people say, oh, you know, if they want to think about something and they want to consider a different option. But they say, well, that's just the way it is. No, that's the way you allow it to be. And I want to talk about that maybe my next week video. I want to just give a lot of examples of things about how people say that's the way it is, or things have continued to be the same. Because it's not the way it is, the way we've allowed it to be. You know, because like I said in my other video, it's disgusting that the same books that were being used over and over. I've been at a high school for over 50 years, but some of the same books saying the same things is still in play. Just so you understand that this is a program. This is what has been implemented. Why come, if everything else is changing, why come our educational system is not changing? Only thing they're doing, they're adding more equipment there for, because before we didn't have computers, we had typewriters and, and things like that. Now they got computers. I mean, so things like that are changing. But as far as the storyline, they're continue to talk about us as a people, and they only thing they talk about us is that we were enslaved, and they don't even say enslaved, they say slavery, that we were slaves, that the African people came here and were slaves. No, we didn't come here and were slaves. We were forced to come here, and we were enslaved when we got here. I mean, so those little dynamics, they matter. They really do matter, the way the words that we use. And I saw this thing on this other lady thing, and maybe I can go do a whole section on that too about these words, because you guys, someone made up these words. When we get the word hippopotamus, well, okay, well, where they get it from? They just made up the words. Now they call that thing hippopotamus, and that's what it's going to be, I guess, for the rest of his life, a hippopotamus. A giraffe is a giraffe, dog's a dog, cat's a cat. But we have to understand that these systems that are in place, a man or woman that looks just like me or you, they don't look like us, but that bleeds just like me and you, a human being, they made these things up and put this system in place, and now we are like obeying it. But we have to understand that we don't know that time is over with. And I know things are coming about. I ain't going to say that because, the Alabama Slammer thing happened, and there's been a couple other things that have happened about that, and you see, these things that that a lot of other things when people I know this one lady was in a store, she was working, a white lady came in, it was cussing at her and everything. She was like saying, okay, ma'am, she came from behind the counter, she said, ma'am, all you gotta do is just, she told me she's gonna slap me. She said, well, slap me, I ain't gonna hit you first, but when you slap me, she said, I'm gonna whoop your ass, and she's gonna F her up. And I know the sister probably was, but she did the right thing, trying to get her out the store, and but we ain't taking this stuff no more, and we shouldn't have to take this stuff anymore. Who we are a very well and educated, some of us, and productive and productive community. I say some of us because that's the reality. I ain't gonna act like that we're all perfect. We're not, and no one's perfect. There's good and bad in all these races of people, and really there ain't no damn races. The white people was the one to claim up with this idea about the damn races of people. Before it was just people. So just think, y'all, because it ain't illegal yet. One day it might be. And get ready, and you see these videos of people talk about things that's happening. And, I can't say that I agree with all of them. But there is going to be some shit happening. You need to have yourself ready, because last time we was caught up with that pandemic. I said pandemic because, they implemented this mess. But and for next time when they're trying to plan something else, you need to be ready. You need to be ready financially, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. That you don't run into fear and just say, oh my gosh, okay, let me do this, let me do that. Don't fear. Don't fear. Just be prepared. God propels prepared people. God prepares. See, this ain't my language also. I'm telling you, don't be laughing. It's either propel, or propels, but they moving forward. That's the definition of the damn word. Prepared people. So get ready. Start saving some money aside. Start, certain supplies that you need. Make sure you have these things in your house, because if they tell you that you can't come out, can't go to the grocery store, then you got to rely on them. So be prepared, because they're still coming up with doing some evil shit. They come up doing some evil shit. So we have to be ready, and we have to be mindful of how our actions affects us as a whole. We somewhat represent ourselves. We the whole. Not to say that one person represents the whole black community, but because you're black, I'm black, and other people here is black. So if somebody black did something, they're gonna say that's part of you. That's how you. This is a part of the people who represent who we are. So I'm just saying, just to be mindful. We are all in this together, and we each have a responsibility to do the best that we can do, to be the best that we could do, and to make decisions that would be helpful to us as a community. So we cannot be selfish, and think about things where you can do things collectively together. If if there's two young people, for example, if they're both thinking about starting a business up on their own, but now they have all their overhead for their their rent or mortgage, their utilities, blah blah blah. Two of those people should come together and pool your resources together and go out there, live together, share your expenses and move forward with what you're doing with your business. I mean, it's not really about it ain't the I. It's we. We're all in this together, and they ain't gonna say, well, yeah, well, you because you do this and because you do that. No, they're gonna say you judge you by your skin, and you just all the same. You're all in the same bucket. You're all the same. So love yourself first of all. Love and respect yourself, and that way you can give love, and you can demand respect. You can give love and you can demand respect because, that's saying that you can't love nobody else if you don't love yourself. How? How you gonna love anybody else if you don't even love yourself? That means you don't know anything about love. And forgive our parents, because our parents did the best that they could do with what they had. For the most part, I don't know, everybody's scenario is different, but sometimes our parents don't know. And a lot of the young people who's going around here who are parents, they really don't know how to be a mother, how to be a father. And so we can't just make just vast judgments on them, and they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that. But understand the circumstances and what they've been through. This trauma that we have been through in this society is real. The fact that you see people being shot, all the news is talking about somebody dying, somebody cheating on somebody stole this, somebody scammed somebody, all this stuff. That's trauma. And mental health is not something that America deals with too much. We see that because number 45, he ended up being the damn president. But that man got some mental damn issues. And he ended up being the president. Can you imagine? And only because there's a lot of white people out here who just didn't want a black man to have that position. So, y'all know I could just go on and on and on. So I just wanted to clear up that thing about me talking about where to spend your money. Understand the system, and that is all connected. The stores, the brand names, the big conglomerate businesses, the big companies, they're all in cahoots with each other, trying to do things to make more money, and they're not giving us anything equal in value to the money that we're spending. And the more that we spend, the less that we have. So if you wanted to be able to invest in a business, you wanted to be able to, to buy a house, you can't buy it if you buy bundles every other month for $300. And you can't say, well, I don't have no money because you spend, $75 on getting your nails done every week. I know you maybe love yourself and these things are deserving. I need to have my hair done. I need to have my nails did. Okay, but are you on a mission? What goals do you have? Sometimes you have to set that shit aside. When I wanted to buy a car, I had to stop doing certain things, spending money on certain things because I wanted to save my money so I could have good deposits so I could buy a car. Because I didn't want on the end part of the car be having owing so much payment as far as payments was concerned. So the more deposits you put down, the less your payments are going to be. So if you have goals, set your goals and be fair with yourself about those goals. Keep it real. So they say money is the root of all evil, and it really is, because people just who don't know about money waste money, and those who have money, they get greedy and they want more. So thank you for listening again. Last week I apologize, my thing had cut off right at the end, but I think I got my point across on it. But sorry about the abrupt ending on my last video. So y'all, God loves you, so do I. Peace and love. Be wise with your money. Be wise with your money. Okay? And try to keep as much of it in our community. Because those other communities do not come to black businesses for things. They don't. So we have to be mindful. Stop giving them our money. So, all right. And I learned that this is the original peace sign, not this. So, peace and love, y'all.